Hey everybody, welcome back to the couch. I'm Melissa and this is Couch Mom Club. On my channel, you'll find tips and tricks to help moms get off the couch and into life. And in today's video, in light of Black History Month, I'm going to talk to you about one of my biggest pet peeves. If you're familiar with my channel, or if you know me personally, you know that language is super important to me. I think that words are so powerful, and I think that names are important. This goes beyond me and my thoughts and what I think, but you can even find that in the Bible. The Bible says, and it teaches us, that death and life is in the power of the tongue. And I feel like that's Bible.
Bible. Bible. Bible.
Bible.
Bible. Bible.
Bible.
You can literally unlock a lot of things by the things that you say, by the words that you use. And I think that language is so important. This goes even for using the proper names of things. I think that it's so important to call people by their proper names. And that is probably one of my biggest pet peeves, when we don't use language appropriately or when we call people out of their names.
So she gave everyone their bookmark, but when I came up to get mine, instead of it saying Z, it said Zba. It just made me feel so happy.
And why is that?
Because not many people do use my name.
I think that you see this especially with Black names, and I find that it's severely annoying. And it's so funny because when I was writing this video out and I was, planning for recording this video, on the same day I had an encounter at work where we were discussing Black history, and we were talking about how to make advances in the Black community and to have other allies support and how to support and things like that. And one young lady came on and she had a long name, and it was a beautiful name, and I won't say her name for the sake of her privacy.
What is her name?
It's Roshandy Antonation Vision Keaton Simon Drew Shalinda Shakane Ronquel. Ninja Shamika Shanet Tamika Shawahini Shell Kani Satsan Janich Marine Consai Kanich Devon Yavan Latani.
The person who was speaking to her had a hard time pronouncing her name, and then somebody else chimed up and said just call her this, and gave like a short version or a short form for her name. I don't know if the person was okay with this, but immediately my heart was just like, just learn her name. It's just a small thing that we can do to really cause people to feel included, to cause people to feel respected, and to just share a little bit of humanity. So it really bothers me. Like, it really bothers me that something so simple is just completely overlooked. So what does this have to do with moms, or how does this impact our children? I think it's very simple. Language and literacy are things that we teach, whether we do it directly and intentionally or we do it kind of in passing. We are teaching our children how to speak. We're teaching them language skills, whether we like it or not, whether we're aware of it or not. A grip on language and learning, literacy, it starts at home. How we teach our kids, what we teach our kids, goes a long way for how they relate to the world and how they learn to read, what they learn to read. If they are learning to read, it all starts at home. And I think that one thing we can do this Black History Month and going forward is to be intentional about the language that we teach our children. Maybe you don't want your child to necessarily be bilingual or trilingual, but just to influence their spaces and influence their mind and expose them to different languages and cultures. And even if there's maybe a child in their classroom that they might not know how to say their names properly, be intentional about teaching your child how to properly pronounce a name. This is a very easy way to make huge strides in supporting Black lives and demonstrating how important they are, and in really causing change and equality to really take effect in the world. A company called Koli and Olum are doing a wonderful job at this because they have produced beautiful books that demonstrate African languages. They give you basic words that we are already teaching our kids in 10 different languages. I had the amazing opportunity to partner with them. They sent me 3 books in the Yoruba language, and I should have picked Swahili. I might go back and buy Swahili because I remember learning a song in Swahili as a child, and I don't know why that didn't click until just now, but we now are learning a few words in Yoruba. And I make sure that when it comes to saying people's names and properly pronouncing them, that I am doing the work to teaching my kids that it's not okay to just say, oh, can I just call you, and give a short form version, but that they learn how to say someone's name properly. And, you know, using these books is a really cool way to show them how to enunciate and how to pronounce and how to properly have a handle on language that they're not exposed to on an everyday basis. We speak English at home. English is our first language, but what an honor it is to have access to an African language and to be able to teach my children different words so that they can identify their body parts, different animals, and different sayings in another language. And I think that is so amazing. So these books are really, really well put together. I love the colors, I love the binding and the illustrations. They're just really well put together books. I mean, if you're putting these in the hands of your little ones, they will be safe because they are very well done. They're sturdy and they're very beautiful. So if you look through, I got 3 books. One talks about words around the house. The other one is animal names, and the other one is body parts. It's something simple. It might sound very simple, like to teach your child the names of other things in a different language. But I think that when that translates to not only learning the basic words like household items, body parts, and things like that, but when you are also giving them the ground to properly say and pronounce other people's names, that is huge. And something so small to you and I can really, really make the difference to someone else. An argument that we might face with learning another language or even teaching your children the basics of another foreign language is that you yourself, you're not familiar with the language and you don't know how to say certain things or you don't know how it's supposed to be said. We live in an era where things are so readily available to us on the internet. You can literally Google and translate words and ask Google to say them back to you so that you know that you're saying it correctly. You know, when we struggle a little bit and we kind of grapple with words at home, we can use those times as opportunities to really teach our kids. Like, we demonstrate that not only are we willing to try, we're willing to overcome hurdles and overcome boundaries by doing the research, learning, and really delving into what it is that we are trying to overcome. The fact that we are taking the time to diligently pronounce the proper names of things and the proper names of people. This will go, it goes so far for our children. When we demonstrate, not only are we willing to learn and we are demonstrating a love for learning, we are also demonstrating a commitment to doing the right thing for people who have names that we're not necessarily used to, or for words that have names that we're not able to pronounce easily. We can teach our children and learn with them. So on one hand, you're teaching your child how to say different words, and on the other hand, you're demonstrating how to learn and what it means to learn and overcome. This company, Koli and Olum, I mean, they're making it easy. Like, what excuse do you have? You really have no excuse but to go ahead and purchase one of these books or one of these sets and start to teach your child a different language. And even go as far as to find other books in your library, find other history books that show you different names of important people in history, in Black history, so that your child can get connected with different words and different names and then learn how to say them, so that when they grow up to be, you know, amazing people in society and they're forced into situations where they have have to say these names, they're not fumbling and they're not, shy about it. And they're not lacking in confidence, but that they will pronounce everyone's name with such ease and such respect and such honor. I think that is one of the things that we can do this Black History Month. We can take the time to learn a new word in another African language, or we can take the time to learn the name of people that we maybe before thought the names are too hard or we were just too lazy. Let this be a time where we do things a little differently. This Black History Month, allow ourselves the opportunity to learn how to say people's names. I think that would be amazing. I also did another Black History Month video. You can take a look at it here. Last year, we tried to keep it real on this channel and do as much as we can in time. And being Black is something that I am, and I wear that badge proudly. So I want you to check that video out and give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.